Where else but Xbox could you go on an epic wrestling adventure, adopt a stray cat, and take part in a full-blown mech war all in the same month? Well, we've got all that and much, much more on the way this August, so let's take a look at the month ahead. This look into the not-too-distant Xbox future is brought to you by Futurama on Hulu. One of the biggest dates on the whole gaming calendar, Gamescom kicks off on Wednesday the 23rd of August and runs all the way through to Sunday the 27th. Now, while we can't say what will be shown off this year, but the 2022 edition officially introduced us to new tales from the Borderlands, while also giving us an in-depth look at titles like Lies of P and Super Rat Simulator Plague Tale Requiem. So, seems safe to presume that there's probably going to be plenty of awesome stuff to go around this year too. There's also the return of FanFest, which has an incredible couple of opportunities for you guys. If you're going to be in Cologne at Gamescom, just like we are, you can win tickets to visit the Xbox Game Pass booth one day before it officially opens to the public. Proper VIP stuff. You'll also be able to play FanFest Trivia and connect with Team Xbox to help celebrate the start of Gamescom 2023. Register for FanFest tickets at xbox.com/FanFest before the 8th of August to be in with a chance to win. But if you're not in sunny Germany, fear not. The FanFest livestream takes place on August 23rd at 10 AM Pacific Time or 6 PM BST and allows you the chance to watch exclusive interviews and win prizes if your Xbox knowledge is up to scratch. Remember though that only those registered with FanFest can win those prizes, so be sure to do so at xbox.com/FanFest. Naturally, we'll be keeping you up to date with everything that comes out of Gamescom 2023 live from the booth floor itself, so stay tuned. Now, before I get into all of the amazing titles arriving next month, I just want to sneak in an awesome game that comes out today. F1 Manager 2023. We recently had the chance to get behind the wheel with the racing management sim even before it rolled off the production line. Cheers, devs. We're pleased to report though that it makes for a sweet ride with some very cool new features. My favourite one has to be Race Replay Mode, which lets players relive key moments from the 2023 season and then gives them the opportunity to rewrite Grand Prix history with all sorts of fascinating what-if scenarios on offer. If you're looking for a new sporting strategy game to round out the summer with, F1 Manager 2023 should be locked into P1. That's first place for the rest of you. August begins with a stone-cold stunner of a game called Wrestlequest. In this retro-inspired pixel art RPG, you'll get to explore a vast spandex-clad world and learn from icons like Andre the Giant and Macho Man Randy Savage. Once they've Irish whipped you into shape, it's time to start your journey from unknown rookie to world champion, one spectacular turn-based battle at a time. And before you say it, I know, turn-based wrestling doesn't seem like it would make sense, but WrestleQuest actually brings together professional wrestling and classic RPG gameplay to make the sort of unique game we didn't even know we needed. Oh, and it arrives on the 8th. Next up though, we've got Gourd, which has been developed by some former members of CD Projekt Red, so you can expect the same sort of immersive environments as you found in games like The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. As cool as this place is, staying alive in Gourd's dark fantasy world is no picnic. In fact, if you do find a picnic here, it's probably cursed in some awful way, like with olives or rice pudding. Although, folks who've honed their skills in strategic survival games like Frostpunk and Ark Survival Evolved might have a better chance. Build your settlement from a humble village into a mighty fortress, but beware, the further you expand into the darkness around you, the closer you'll get to the monsters, enemy tribes, and mysteries that lurk there. You'll have to tend to the mental, physical, and, in a somewhat unique twist, spiritual needs of your folks too, but luckily there are witches for that sort of thing. Keeping your people healthy, safe, and sane is gonna be an uphill battle, especially if you're against whatever the hell this thing is. Is it a rat or a house elf? Well, anyway, if you think you've got what it takes, then check out Gourd on the 17th. Everybody wants to be a cat because a cat's the only cat who knows where it's at. And the good news is that we'll all get to live out that dream when Stray finally comes to Xbox. Just mind your controller around this one. Oh, for God's sake. In this third-person cat adventure, and yes, that is officially a genre now, players are let loose on a decaying cyber city. It's not always the most welcoming place, but it is fascinating to explore, filled with puzzles to solve and all sorts of dangers to navigate. And if you slink your way into the right nooks and crannies, you might uncover the ancient mysteries behind this strange place and even find a way to escape it. Stray will be snooping around from the 10th, but just don't get too curious because it has a way of ending badly for people of a feline persuasion. Oh, and speaking of cats, pop quiz. Can you name which 3 games these cats come from in the comments below? The cat from Stray doesn't think you can. Prove them wrong. Some people don't like sand. They say it's coarse and rough and irritating and that it gets everywhere. Well, those people should not play Atlas Fallen. But for everyone else, this third-person, fast-paced combat adventure looks like an absolute blast as you shape the sand around you into all kinds of deadly weapons. This unique power makes for some truly show-stopping battles, and the Xbox Series X and S's spatial sound tech is so immersive that you can practically hear every grain. If you know what a grain sounds like anyway. Add in the fact that the whole thing can be played in online co-op, and Atlas Fallen has all the makings of a hit. So keep an eye out for it on the 10th. Naturally, we'll also have info on all of the other big titles hitting Xbox in the months to come. Maybe something about Starfield, so be sure to subscribe and ring that bell. The moving out crew might not be the most reliable furniture movers in the business, but they're definitely the funniest, which gets points from me, so we're delighted that they've come back for another sofa-tossing adventure. This time around, players will get to hop through conveniently located portals to test their packing prowess in all sorts of ridiculous places. It's sure to be challenging, but with options for online and local multiplayer, as well as full crossplay, you should never be short of help. Basically, if you loved the chaotic co-op of the original game and titles like Overcooked and you've got pretty safe blood pressure, Moving Out 2 promises a whole truckload more laughs, and it's out on the 15th. Everspace 2 will be jetting straight on to Game Pass. God, feels great to say that. This spaceship shooter will have players blasting and barrel rolling their way through a vast galaxy. Along the way, you'll get to take part in death-defying dogfights, meet new characters, and experience a thoughtful science fiction story. Everspace 2 also boasts an incredible number of different ships for you to fly and different modules and weapons to outfit them with. So if your passion for blowing stuff up with lasers is as infinite as the universe itself, definitely check this one out when it arrives on the 15th. And feel free to add in your own pew-pew noises, definitely makes them stronger. Next, Madden 24 will come crashing straight into the Xbox end zone, and it's bringing some meaty new next-gen features with it. Xbox Series X and S players will get an enhanced AI to work with that creates much more realistic reactions to the plays they call, along with a shiny new skill-based passing system that allows you to sling the ball around with surgical precision, just like Mahomes. And when it's time to get a little bit more hands-on, the new, improved, and beautifully named Hit Everything system creates realistic collisions where the ratings of your players really come into play. In short, Madden 24 is going to deliver a truly next-gen football experience when it arrives on the 18th with all the tactical sophistication and outright brutality that entails. Once a 70s film sensation and now an exhilarating asymmetrical multiplayer game, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre will arrive with its blades whirring straight on to Game Pass. Fans of Dead by Daylight will be all over this new version of the horror classic, which allows players to either play as a survivor and try to survive, or as a member of the Slaughter family and, well, it's all in the name really, isn't it? Rev it up on an Xbox Series X or S and the Dolby Atmos supported sound will really make you feel like there's a power tool wielding maniac running after you. But, you know, in a good way? Well, the splattering starts on August 18th, so which side are you most looking forward to playing as? Survivors or Slaughters? Hit the comments and let us know. Now, if you're looking for a truly spellbinding experience, make sure you check out Immortals of Aveum. This fantastical first-person shooter trades in the usual guns and ammo, boring, for an innovative new brand of spell-based combat. It's easy to pick up and extremely satisfying to master. It's sure to enchant anyone who enjoyed chucking magic at people in Ghostwire Tokyo. Oh, which you can play right now on Game Pass, by the way. What are you waiting for? Oh, and just because you're firing off magic rather than magazines, don't expect anything less than the slickest shooting gunplay. Immortals of Aveum is actually the first game from a new studio called Ascendant Studios, which is made up of former Call of Duty folks. So, you know, they definitely know how to make things pop. Throw in the Xbox Series X's smooth 60 FPS frame rates and ray tracing effects, and Immortals of Aveum promises to make the 22nd an absolutely magical day. I'm so glad we get to talk about this one, because going an entire month without some good action platforming would just be pure blasphemy. Fortunately, August brings just the game to put that right. Blasphemous 2 returns players to the dark fantasy world where the penitent one is once again taking names and kicking ass. Journey across a gorgeously grotesque world filled with deadly traps and hideous enemies, along with the odd NPC who actually doesn't mean you any bodily harm. Ah, cheers mate. The first game's visceral combat has been bolstered with new weapons, new moves, and expanded combos to help you rain destruction upon anyone foolish enough to stand in your way, which, as luck would have it, seems to be quite a lot of folks. So get ready for some serious carnage when Blasphemous 2 arrives on the 24th. I can't be the only one who's ever been stuck on one of From Software's more grueling boss fights and thought, if only I had a heavily armed mech suit so I could just blow this guy up. Well, the good news is that in their new game, Armoured Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, you do. Although the bad news is that everyone else does too. But you know, that actually just makes things more fun as you engage in exhilarating omnidirectional battles across huge maps, moving freely between the land and the air as you try to outmaneuver your enemies. The mechs are also hugely customizable, allowing you to tinker with them to fit your precise playstyle and opening up all sorts of strategic possibilities. In my book, Big Robot Go Boom is a good strategy for any occasion, but you can start tinkering with your own from the 25th. Under the Waves is a narrative adventure about the saddest Stan since that one Dido sang about. But this particular Stanley is a deep-sea diver who is trying to cope with an unimaginable loss. Unable to move forward, he decides to move down instead, into the depths of the ocean. While exploring this beautiful watery realm, the player will get to uncover hidden secrets, salvage supplies for crafting, and if they look really carefully, perhaps even find the answers Stan has been looking for. If you absolutely loved Subnautica, A, you've got great taste, but B, you're going to love this one because of its gorgeous, poetic, and pretty moving experience. Under the Waves is going to be available from the 29th. So, get fitted for a wetsuit or something. Let's round out the month of new releases with an absolute banger. We've got Sea of Stars arriving day one on Game Pass. At a glance, with its pixel art and its turn-based battles, Sea of Stars looks a bit like a love letter to the good old days of RPG gaming. And it is. You'll find all of the genre's tropes and trappings here, from fishing minigames and charming NPCs to an epic story about magic, friendship, and the importance of beating up evil wizards. But this is also a fully modernized take on the genre. The battles are so immersive, taking place exactly where you encounter your enemies, and including all sorts of clever tactical wrinkles like multi-character combos and timing bonuses. So Chrono Trigger fans are right at home here. The game's dynamic lighting also makes for one of the prettiest pixelated realms we've ever seen, so we can't wait to adventure all over it when Sea of Stars arrives on the 29th. And if you just can't wait until then for some retro RPG action, well, Game Pass has got these amazing options. Cassette Beasts is sure to take you right back to the monster catching days of your childhood. Chained Echoes brings the 16 era back so beautifully we wonder why it ever went away. Stardew Valley is a pixelated pleasure trip to a charming little farm. The Bard's Tale offers a fantasy adventure that's straight out of the 80s, and Eastward transports players to the most delightful dystopia we've ever seen. With all that suplexing, sofa tossing, and spellcasting going on, it's safe to say that this August is gonna be one active month. So just remember to stretch first, alright? Good news, everyone! This video was brought to you by the new season of Futurama streaming only on Hulu. Yearning to know what the Planet Express crew are up to now? Desperate to discover if Fry and Leela are still together? Or perhaps you'd like to know what's become of everybody's favourite ill-tempered robot, Bender? You can find out every Monday only on Hulu in 10 all-new episodes. Bye!
Good news, everyone! Welcome to your new home.
We're back, baby!
Why don't you have a belt?
Or at least a substantial butt!